The Master Phil in Your Corner podcast is brought to you by philross.com, the home site of Master Phil Industries, books, presentations, virtual training, supplements, and products, including the Back Better Bar, strengthen your back and bulletproof your shoulders. The Body Bell Method, the world's only kettlebell, bodyweight, and dynamic tension system, providing continuing education credits for trainers, coaches, doctors of physical therapy, and chiropractors. Be sure to check out our new app, Masterfill Kettlebells, on the App Store. Thank you for your patronage. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Master Phil in Your Corner. This is episode number 160, and we're in season 6 already. Crazy how time flies when you're having fun. We have a special guest here, Dr. David Hopper, and he's got quite a unique background. Actually, our backgrounds in some ways parallel each other. Big time MMA guy, and he's also a doctor of chiropractic. Dave, welcome to the show. Tell the people about you, your background, and we're going to discuss what you're doing now and how you're helping people to live better longer, because that's what we're all about here.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Phil, thank you so much for having me on. And man, it was such a pleasure getting to meet you. So Phil and I met at a conference probably about 6 months ago, 8 months ago at this point.
It's November of 2025.
So
Yeah.
almost a year.
Yeah, I know.
Man,
Crazy, right?
as you said, time flies when you're having fun.
Yep.
And Phil just looked like a guy who I wanted to have on my side. I didn't want him being my enemy.
And
So
likewise. I saw.
so Phil and I clicked pretty quick, and it turned out that yes, we do have a very similar background. So I came up growing up with a life of fitness and martial arts, very similar to Phil, and I got to fight professionally for a while in mixed martial arts, which was really fun. Very fun career, and I highly recommend it for anybody looking for something to do with their life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Turns out it's a short-term career for most of us. Um, and yeah, my whole life was geared towards natural health. That's what my parents always pushed. So so I got into that at an early age, and started doing personal training, all of that. Always wanted to become a doctor. Put those dreams on hold while I did go and fight professionally for a while. Then I went back to school and got my doctorate in chiropractic.
Nice.
And yeah, ever since that, I've been really focusing on how can I get people better in a conservative manner, right? How can we play the preventative health game rather than playing the reactive health game? And that's been really a huge focus of my life for well, really the entire life, my entire thing. And since I've been in practice, I've done a lot with research on obstructive sleep apnea. I did a lot of that in grad school as well. Got a couple of papers published on obstructive sleep apnea and conservative treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. That's a big thing that I actually focus on in practice is how can you breathe better? How can you sleep better? Because I look at those two things as the pinnacle of health, right? So you want to talk about living better, living longer, moment to moment, how you breathe is either bringing you closer to death or closer to health, right? And then every single night, how you're sleeping, right? And if you're not nailing those two things, those are the most important health metrics that you can be tracking and you can be assuring that they're going properly. Because if they're not, then we see the trickle down effect. Nothing else really matters. So that's what I chose to focus on in practice. Those are the reasons why. Um, and yeah, I've been doing that. Now I do a lot of online therapy with that, and and I get to see people in person as well. But I've been doing a lot less in person, a lot more online because we have such a huge reach online.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, it's a little bit about my background. Oh, and I should probably also mention, yes, I teach in a doctorate program, head and neck anatomy and physiology and orofacial rehabilitation, which is essentially I teach doctors how to do the things that I do with rehab for the face, mouth, tongue, airway. So how to get those things working correctly again. And I also go around the country and I get to speak on that stuff, along with heart rate variability,
I want to
which
talk about that.
yes, yeah. So that's another big thing, and it intertwines. It just happens to be the best metric to track overall health. So yeah, so that's who I am, and a bit about where I've been, what I've done. But yes.
Well, I'm just chomping at the bit right here. You probably see me taking some notes, and there's a whole bunch of things I want to address with you. Not just for the audience, but also on a personal level, because there's some things that I'd like to discuss. And one of the things one of the martial arts that I have a very high level black belt in is called Bondo. Now, in Bondo, we're not only taught to hurt people, but how to heal them. Okay, and looks like this is
Both
what
sides
you've
of the
done,
coin.
right? You've gone from hurting people to healing them, which I do commend you for. And to me, that's a full circle martial artist. We speak about breathing, and when you consider breathing, right? You know the principle of three. You can go 3 minutes without breathing, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Breathing's the most important. The thing is, if as a mindset coach, I have my athletes and even corporate people control their breathing, because if you can't control your breathing, you can't control anything else. And what you're doing is you're taking it to the next level, because you're seeing, how do we breathe, how can we breathe better, how can we address things like sleep apnea. So if we're going to talk about that, I recently lost one of my best friends. He died from sleep apnea. You have three guys on your speed dial. Yeah, he's one of them. That's how tight we were. I mean, I talked
Wow.
to him the day before he died. And I still train his son. His son is a captain of Bucknell's football team so
Wow.
so I've been training him since he was a kid. So, but hey, this is a very serious situation. So he was a big guy. He was a state champ wrestler, played football at Penn State. I mean, like, big dude, and that happens a lot to bigger guys, right? But it can happen to anyone.
Well, absolutely. And I'm very sorry for your loss, Phil. And was that, and I don't mean to pry in any way, but I'd like to understand there's so many complications that go along with obstructive sleep apnea, unfortunately. And is that, did he have a heart attack and pass away in his sleep, do you know? Or was
Yeah,
that
he passed
a
away in his
heart?
sleep. We went to
Okay.
bed and didn't wake up.
Yes. Yeah. And that's so, Phil, if I can share as well, that's actually what got me into all of this. And that's when I was about 20 years old. My dad had a heart attack. Fortunately, he did survive.
Okay.
But it was why my dad is, you look at the guy, he's in his he's in his late 60s now. He's actually, I think he turned 70 this fall.
Yeah.
Um, and and he's still got a six pack. He's a
Yeah. Wow.
big ripped
Stud.
dude, and you're like, uh, and you're like, this is the guy that we want to be, right? But every single night, or as far back as I can remember, he snored so loud that you could hear him through two closed doors. His bedroom door closed on the other side of the house, my bedroom door closed. You could hear him snoring. Um, and we've all been trained that this is a sign of somebody getting a great night's rest. This is a sign of somebody who's sleeping really well. And it turns out that that couldn't be farther from the truth, right? It turns out that somebody who's snoring, that's somebody who is struggling to breathe.
Right.
And what's happening is their tongue, their soft palate, those things are falling back into their airway and they're vibrating like this. And that's what's causing that snore.
Mhm.
So, no, they're not sleeping well. In fact, they are partially obstructing or fully obstructing their airway, which is where then a lot of people hear, and a lot of wives will report this for their husbands too, that
Right.
right when you
Right.
come
Right.
back to life.
Right.
Um, and the craziest thing is, Phil, is that this happens hundreds of times per hour to some people throughout the night, and they have no idea. They have no recollection of it, right? And that's probably like just like my dad. It's probably just
Mhm.
like your
Mhm.
buddy, where this was happening, and everybody just thought, oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
he's sleeping really well,
Yeah.
um, and it's very unfortunate. But yeah, we have to change the way that we look at those things because I'm sure your buddy being a big guy like that, he's probably been a snorer like that since he was a teenager, and nobody ever thought anything of it. And I would have never either until, my dad and I went from doctor to doctor. And I remember one doctor asking if he was a big snorer. And it was, well, yeah, like of course he is, like,
Right.
and it was a joke.
Right.
And this doctor started teaching us all about sleep apnea, and that was immediately when I went and started researching. And then as soon as I got in grad school, I started, I became a research assistant, and I was like, here's my project I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Let me roll back to so you know, is there some type of cumulative effect of this? Like over time, does it get worse? Does it and does it degrade the body over time? What happens? Because I know that, if you're snoring, your sleep is not sound.
right.
Okay. So we're not getting the rest that we need, and we're not able to repair ourselves properly without proper sleep and rest. So how does this affect us over time?
Yes. So that's a great question there. So you're familiar with the autonomic nervous system, right?
Yes.
That
But,
system that
but many
handles.
people are not. They're not.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe we can talk a little bit about the autonomic nervous system and see how it differs.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the autonomic nervous system is just, I'd say, just think about the automatic system that runs your body, right? So this
The
is the system that
vagus nerve,
does,
right?
vagus nerve
Vagus nerve. Sorry.
is
Yeah.
a huge part of it, right? So vagus nerve is controlling, about 80% of the function of that. So
Right.
it's a huge piece. But we have our two sides, and I refer to them as our gas pedal and our brake pedal.
Right.
So our gas pedal is like, Phil, when you're stepping in the ring to fight with somebody,
Yeah.
you got your gas pedal on,
Oh
right?
yeah. Ready to go.
You know,
Let's go.
yes. You see, and for those of you listening, if you see somebody like Phil coming at you with an angry look on your face, that's your gas pedal that kicks on. um, and then when you're sleeping
Yeah.
after you eat, and majority of the remainder of your day should be spent in the brake pedal side, which is referred to as your rest and digest side, right? That's your
Yes.
brake pedal.
Mhm.
Um, and the third R that should be added to that is repair, because um, it's rest, recover, repair, right? Those are the things that should be going on. Whereas the gas pedal is your fight or flight side, and a lot of people
Yes.
have probably heard those terms.
Yep. Yep.
Now,
Well, I'll say there's another part of that. Fight, flight,
yes,
or freeze.
yes, absolutely. There is the freeze response,
Yeah.
which is yeah, when you just fall over because your body decides you can't deal with the threat, you're not
Yeah.
capable of dealing
Yeah.
with it. Yeah, that's that's
It's
an
very real.
unfortunate one that does happen to,
Yeah.
but it absolutely happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so what is supposed to happen with this? When we go to sleep at night, we're supposed to be fully parasympathetic or fully in that brake pedal mode.
Right.
And that's when our body has the chance to repair itself, right? To fully recover from whatever happened
Mhm.
that day or the days prior. Now, when you have something like obstructive sleep apnea going on, what happens is you go to bed and all of a sudden you start struggling to breathe. And I want to ask, your listeners, right? If you were going to sleep and Phil or me, right? Somebody starts choking you, right? Somebody starts choking you. What's going to happen, right? What is your body going to do? Is it going to continue to relax when you're getting choked, or are you going to fully gear up for battle, right? And of
Yeah.
course, you're going to fully gear up for battle. You're going to go into that full sympathetic fight or flight mode right away. And the difference is, though, now we are sleeping, right, or supposedly sleeping,
Yeah.
and our body has to mount this response because, oh no, we're getting choked. So what's going to happen? Immediately, we are going to stimulate that sympathetic nervous system. So we're going to get epinephrine shot out into our system, right? And right away, our body's going to say, okay, we need to turn on the muscles to start working
Right.
here. So
Right.
it pulls sugar out into the bloodstream. So that way we have something to feed the muscles with, right? And that's why type 2 diabetes is so common in people with obstructive sleep apnea as well, because all throughout the night, right, we're getting these sugars pulled out into the bloodstream.
Well,
Now the
can I,
oh
because
yeah,
I have a
yeah,
question to
please.
ask on this? Because I don't want to forget. Now, also, what's happening here is that when you're going into your fight, flight, or freeze, uh, and the body's reacting as if it is under duress, which it is, what does that do to the brain activity?
So if we're awake, right? That's going to be a very different thing than what's
Right.
happening when we're asleep.
Yes.
But it's the same, right? When we're sleeping, we have a lymphatic system that cleans our brain,
Hmm.
and we know that the brain doesn't get to rest, just like the rest of the body doesn't get to rest. So we're never getting into those deeper stages where we have the ability for our lymphatic system to fully function. So again, yes, are we going to have, are we going to see things like dementia set in earlier on these people? Are we going to see things like, simple word finding issues, cognitive function decline with these people? Absolutely, right? Because again, your brain doesn't get to recover, just like the rest of your body doesn't get to recover. So indeed, Phil, yeah, there's a big loss there as well. And so as we continue through this cascade, though, right? What's going to happen is your chest is going to start to pump. So for people who completely obstruct, right? This is where, we hear that, right? And you're coming
Yes.
back to life because their chest starts to pump to activate and push through that obstruction. And fortunately, it does push through that obstruction most of the time, right? Unless we have cases like your friend or my father who their body couldn't recover fast enough and they do end up having a heart attack. And again, cardiac disease of all kind, myocardial infarction or heart attack are much more common in people who are having this, or who have
Yes.
this going on.
Mm.
Um, and then finally, it breaks through, right? And we go back to normal breathing
Yeah.
or partially obstructed breathing. And then we go through that cycle again. And that, again, that can happen, anytime, anywhere from, if it's happening at least 5 times an hour, we call that mild obstructive sleep apnea. If it's 15 to 30, we're going to call that mild obstructive sleep apnea. I'm sorry, mild and moderate. And then we're going to have severe is going to be anything over 30 times per hour. And that's very common. And actually, they're even breaking out another class of that because because we're seeing such high numbers all the time. So again, we have people who are just always going into this. And the crazy thing again, Phil, is that these people have no idea that it's happening to them. They just wake up fatigued. They wake up tired, but it's been happening so gradual throughout their life that it's something they didn't realize was happening to them, right?
Yeah.
And they don't realize the fatigue, right? Until you start getting good sleep, until you start breathing properly again, and then you go, "Oh my gosh,"
Wow.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's amazing. I mean, now, what is it? What type of effect does this have on a resting heart rate? So, I track my biometrics. I sleep with I have a Garmin Instinct, and I
Gotcha.
track my HRV and I track my resting heart rate. And I mean, that honestly is pretty good. Resting heart rate is between 49 and 52, 53. Once in a while, I'll be at 54. Depends if I ate late. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but usually I'm like around 50 or so. And but the things that so what now if we were having this sleep apnea, where is that resting heart rate? Where do you say? I know it varies, but and then I also want to talk about HRV because that is huge. So
Yes. So heart rate variability and heart rate are both going to interplay and react slightly differently to well, they'll actually typically the exact opposite of each other.
okay.
Um, so I'm tracking this on any patient that I'm going to see for this.
Okay.
I'm going to be tracking these metrics with them on. And what I'm doing when I'm tracking these things is I'm looking at the overnight variation, and heart rate is going to be one of those things. So by the time that you've arrived at my office, right, or you're seeing me online, it, you're already at this point, right? We already see this as your average. So let's say Phil is the person who's coming in to see me. We know his average resting heart rate overnight is about 50, right? Um, if your heart rate is going up throughout the night, right? Your average resting heart rate is getting higher throughout the night.
Yeah.
That's a sign that we're going in the wrong direction, right? That means that you're going into more sympathetic, more of that gas pedal mode throughout the night.
Mhm.
Okay. Whereas heart rate variability is going to tell us about your parasympathetic function or about your vagus nerve, exactly the tone of your vagus system, uh, and and that we actually we want to see it higher, but how it reacts to obstructive sleep apnea is it's going to go lower because it's pushing that vagal function down throughout the night. So we'll see that dropping if it's going wrong. Now, when things start going the right way, we're going to see that exact opposite happen, right? Where we see resting heart rate is actually going to drop. We're going to see HRV start to get higher. And what we really want to do
Hmm.
is, and I'm not sure if your version of the Garmin does this, but do you have pulse oximetry on yours or no?
I have to look on my, let me see.
Okay, so it would show the oxygen saturation of your blood throughout the night.
I think so. Let me see.
Yeah, I know Apple does
Rate,
it.
blood pressure, stress. Um, I don't do the blood pressure thing, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it does, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. But several of these devices do, like the
more.
Aura Ring does, for example, as well. Um, and same with that. If
That's,
you're
oh
if
yeah,
you're
it has,
sh
yeah, health
yeah, it
stats.
should be
What do we want to look
SpO2
at?
maybe, what it
Pulse,
would say.
pulse oxygen, pulse oxygen.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go to pulse oxygen and see what that says. Today, nothing. I have no data.
You didn't have
Oh
any
yeah,
oxygen in your blood
I
today.
had none. I'm done. Yeah, I don't know if I have the adapter for that. I might just use
Okay.
watch. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that's totally fine. But a lot of these things are going to be collecting it automatically, which is great. So I'll look at the wearable data while
mhm,
I'm working with a patient, and as a result of tracking that wearable data, we can get a pretty good idea of what's going on. Now, for the beginning of the program, a lot of times I'll actually have them do a higher level test.
yeah,
So like an in-home sleep test, for example, or just a high resolution pulse oximeter test, it's called, which is going to be just sampling the blood oxygen saturation
yeah.
um, it- hundreds of times per hundreds of times per minute. And anyway, what we're looking at with that is we can actually see the
Mhm,
obstruction events taking place. When we see oxygen saturation drop, we see heart rate go up.
mhm.
Um, we can see the body's immediate sympathetic reaction to those things,
Okay,
which is really cool. So
I
so
found stuff.
okay, yes, yes.
Something.
What do you got?
Okay, so let me see. I can't see this one. Okay, sleep metrics. Right. It said restless moments 38. So
Okay,
it said I got good sleep though. I got it said 7 hours, 15 minutes, plenty of REM.
okay,
Um,
very good.
out of 100, I'm at 84.
Okay, that's
Uh,
pretty good.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So I had a BPM, anywhere between 53 and 57. I ate a little late last night. Um, and then it says my average overnight HRV was 33, I guess, milliseconds. I don't know what
Yes,
milliseconds is.
milliseconds typically. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know real. I don't know if that's. I'm usually in the 30s.
Okay.
That's good, bad, or indifferent. So this my sleep coach is telling me to get 8 hours tonight, but need an extra 20 minutes.
Well,
So
you're not too far off. Um,
so yeah.
so those are great recommendations, and it's great to have that stuff with you, to be able to see all of that. So what we want to be able to pull is say, okay, if we're going to give you some tips, if we're going to do some things for you to help with your sleep, to help with your breathing,
Mhm.
um, that this is your baseline, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's the most important thing to have is a baseline and to understand that for Phil, right, this 30 to 37 milliseconds of your HRV, right, heart rate
Yeah.
variability,
Yeah.
that this is your average. So
Right.
that doesn't compare to anybody else,
That's
right?
that's the thing because I'm trying to look up these the metrics on this, and it's like it's different for everyone, and what's good for one person, but they look for consistency, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Consistency is most important. You nailed it. When it comes to heart rate variability, we we don't care about comparing anybody to anybody else. The norms charts for that are completely useless. I think
Yes. Yeah.
there's not many of them out there, and it's for good reason.
Mhm.
I think what are out there should be destroyed because all it does is it makes you look at it and go, oh shit, I'm really low, right?
Right, right,
Or
right,
you go, oh, I'm doing awesome, right? I can go eat
right,
a pizza
right.
tonight. So and by no means it's Friday. Please go eat some pizza tonight. And yeah, but but we don't want to compare ourselves to others because what heart rate variability is it is a very unique measurement of our autonomic nervous system's function,
Mhm.
right? So what we're
My name is Christine Conti, and I'm the CEO of Fit Fix Now. I love the Back Better Bar. It has helped me with mobility, flexibility, and just overall feeling great with my back and my posture. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Angelica, and I'm going to show you what the Back Better Bar does for you. I was in excruciating pain yesterday, and I went to Master Phil, and he just saved me. I couldn't even walk. I was in so much pain. We did some exercises, and oh my gosh, I cannot tell you, I cannot recommend this enough. Go to his classes, go to his channels, and get better relief.
I use the back better bar to support my posterior chain, my spine, and my shoulders. As a fitness professional, it's important for me to keep my back in a great position and alignment. Also, in my profession as a therapist, I'm sitting a lot. So in between sessions, I can take it, use it, and really open up my spine for better mobility, alignment, and flexibility.
looking at with that is literally every single thing that has ever happened to us from our fetal environment until this very moment in life. And not only everything that has happened to you, but more importantly, how your body, how your mental, how your mind has reacted to that,
Yeah.
right? And that is so important to take into account, right? Because even like twins, right? So Phil, if you had a twin,
Mhm.
which we look pretty close,
Yeah. Put our heads together, make a ass out of ourselves.
that's we can pass for twins. You need a little facial hair.
Yeah,
Um,
mine's all gray now.
right? That's my problem if I let mine go too long. That's why I keep it short now. Um, but uh, but even if you had a twin
Mhm.
and you guys had the exact same upbringing, everything exactly the same happened to you,
Mhm.
right? You could be sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, this is the best moment of my life."
Right.
And your twin could be sitting there going, "This is the worst moment of my life, right? I can't be here." And because of that, right, we can never compare one person to another.
Mhm.
Um, and it's completely irrelevant to do so. It gives you an idea of like, okay, yes, this is where the average person is, or whatever it may be. But we know it's way too personal of a number to be comparing one to the next.
Mhm.
But what we do know is that the higher your HRV is,
Mhm.
the higher your vagal tone is, which means that your
Explain that
parasympathetic.
vagal tone.
Yes, so so we can just exchange that word out for the function of your brake pedal, right? So the ability of your brake pedal to act, right? The ability of your brake pedal to turn on and regulate your system and help your body recover, right?
Mhm.
So somebody with a higher HRV,
Mhm.
so it's this simple, Phil, right? If somebody walks into my office with an HRV that is, say 20, right? And then another person walks in and their HRV is 80. Okay. I know that the person with a 20, I'm going to need a longer treatment plan for. I
Mhm.
know that they're going to be a lot more sluggish in their response to therapy.
Mhm.
I know that I'm going to have to go a lot more gradual with my therapy, right? And we'll get the response, but again, we have to take it easier. Now, whereas that person with a HRV that's 80, I know I can go faster. I can go a little bit harder with my therapy, and
Yeah.
their body will be able to adapt and respond to that in a positive way. And I know that it'll be a shorter treatment plan overall,
Yeah.
right? So we can tell those things just based on how much brake pedal activity somebody's body has,
Yeah.
and I know brake pedal activity, we can call it parasympathetic function, we can call it vagal tone, right? We can put any of those words to it. But those things tell us that. So now when I have somebody in front of me, I can use that as a metric to help me make those decisions clinically. But then it's also something that I can track and I can see over time, like, oh man, okay, this person came in my office with
Yeah.
an HRV that was 20. And we've worked with them and we saw over time their HRV started to climb, and now their average HRV might be closer to 30, right? And that's great, right? And what's the person going to report? They feel better rested.
Yeah.
They feel like, man, when I work out, I feel more powerful
Hmm.
and I'm not sore for like days,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I have the energy to do it. And then, oh man, in meetings, like I'm just on, right? I feel mentally so much better. And then emotionally too, right? Because we do cover all these things with it. It's mental, physical, emotional when we talk about this. And
Hmm.
emotionally, like, man, you know what? My kid dropped a glass and it broke in the kitchen, right? And normally I would snap, right? And yell at him, cuss at him, right?
Right. Right.
I and my kid dropped a glass and I just said, "Oh no, bud. Hey, well, you know what? This is a learning moment, right? We don't want to pick up cups with wet hands, right? And your reaction is so much, right? So
So should I mean? So you're saying you should smoke a lot of pot?
well,
Not that I don't do any of that stuff, but
well, and yes, right. You're a lot more calm, but that's what marijuana does,
yeah.
right? It does. It brings up parasympathetic function. So, and not artificially.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Okay, very, very
because
important to
it
put
does other
that.
things too. Like
Yeah.
it really
Yes.
has an adverse effect on your drive, um, as well.
Yes, yeah. So and that's what happens with too much parasympathetic function too. Is you can absolutely get there, right? Where it does have the opposite effect. Everything in life is that Goldilocks zone. I like to say, right? There's too much of anything is a bad thing.
Yes,
But yeah, and that's where you're just a lot more laid back, but in a positive way.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
Whereas the artificial, that comes with many other negative
Oh,
consequences.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So if we're talking about like the HRV number, again, I've I've gotten into this,
Yeah.
and does that naturally drop that number, that absolute number, the number that I'm operating on currently, whatever, does that drop with age naturally? Or does each person kind of have, well, I'm at 50, so I should be at 50 the rest of my life? Or, hey, I'm 65 years old, I'm at 32. Is that good or bad? But
Yeah.
I've been 32 for 6 months or whatever it is, and I feel okay. So,
So naturally with age, yes, the number is going to decline.
yeah.
Um, and that's the typical trend that we see. Um, Now there's a lot of thoughts as to why with all these things, right?
Yeah.
But when we get into people getting into their 70s, it actually starts to gradually climb. Um,
Why
and
is
well, so there's a lot of theories around that.
okay?
I like the theory of people are retired, they're settled in life, and they're in just a happy stage of
They just
life,
don't
right?
care about a lot of things.
Right, right. There's a lot less worries in life.
Right. Right.
So that very well could be why.
Oh, so
Because
let me grab that for a second,
yeah.
because you're saying that this HRV number is also affected by what you're doing throughout your day.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
So let's chat on that, right?
Yeah.
So you go and do an awesome kettlebell workout,
Right.
right? Or I do an awesome kettlebell workout with you. If I clocked my HRV immediately after that workout, right, regardless of what it was before.
Hmm.
So let's say I start with an HRV of 100, right? My HRV at the end of that workout might be 10. Okay. Um, because here's what HRV is measuring. It's measuring your capacity to change. It's measuring your ability to adapt. And when I am pushing myself to my limits,
Right.
right, the harder I'm pushing myself, the lower the variance can be, right? Because I have to be very exact, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing in that moment that my HRV dropped because I know my HRV is going to recover just because my body's going to recover
Yeah.
if I give it time, right? This is where recovery is so important because if I don't recover properly, what am I doing? I'm setting myself up for injury because I'm
Yes.
just piling onto that last one, right?
Hmm.
So, so I know that that would be the case as well. right? I start my day. We all have a bandwidth for our day, right? Of how much I like to say, how many bricks we can hold or how much stuff we can handle,
Right, right.
right? And you wake up in the morning and your cup is totally full, right? Or you can
The
think
stress
of,
cup, I call it the stress cup.
yes, exactly, right?
Right.
You have so much you have so much room, you have so much capacity. Now, think about it. As the day goes on, right? You do work. You get to talk to somebody fun online, right, on a Zoom
Right, like
call.
you're doing now.
I, and this comes up, right? Oh, I got to pay these bills. Oh, this broke in the house. I got to try to fix it. Oh, okay, now this happened with the kids. We got to take them out, or
Right.
even just day to day, not anything extra exciting. Just, hey, I got to drive the kids to this sport. I got to pick them up. I got to go do this. I got to cook.
Mhm.
By the end of the day, your capacity, right, has gone down. And I think we all know that. Ask my kids, for example. What's dad like in the morning versus what's dad when it's time to go to bed, right?
Yeah.
When it's time for sleep, dad's cup there's no more room there, right? I can't hold anymore. It's,
Can I okay.
yeah,
All right.
it's brush your teeth and get in your bed.
Right. You do stuff. I mean, you're constantly on point all day, kind of like me. I mean, I'm in front of people, I'm talking to people, I'm doing stuff. When it's night, I mean, not my phone will ring. I'll just hit the off button.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk anymore. I'm done. I don't want to talk to my wife, my kid. I'm kind of done
yeah.
at the end of the day. Yeah, this makes sense.
And if you checked your HRV at the end of the day, it would be really far down.
Yeah,
And that's because your capacity, your ability to change at the end of the day is significantly less, right? And that's why you need that good night of sleep, that good night of breathing properly while you sleep to recover so that you can wake up tomorrow
Mhm.
and have that full capacity again,
Mhm.
right? Um, and other really cool things about HRV too. Sorry, I guess we've kind of gone in a lot of places, all
Yeah, no,
connected,
it's cool.
but
I love it.
is that we know that your autonomic nervous system starts responding to strains before you are consciously aware of these things,
Yeah.
right? So think about it this way, right? If it's cold in a room, right, your body is making all sorts of changes internally
Hmm.
well before you get that message of, oh man, kind of got to chill. I better put a sweater on or something, right?
Yeah.
Your body has been making all sorts of changes, right? Your metabolic rate has increased. Your hair might start to stand on end. Like all these kinds of things are going to start happening. Blood vessels are going to dilate. You know, uh, Internally, we're going to pull away from the skin, so that we're not losing heat to the environment. All this stuff, right, is going to start happening before your body sends you the conscious message of, "Hey, Phil, I'm cold. Go put a sweater on."
Yeah.
um, but it's the same thing when we're getting sick. When we're getting injured, right, from like an overuse injury, right? Your body is responding up to 2 days prior. You can see this in your heart rate variability. So if you're tracking your HRV regularly,
Right.
Phil, you might be able to say, "Oh man, that's weird. My HRV went down."
Right.
And I feel good. And then the next day you can go, oh man, my HRV is still lower. What is going
Right.
on here? Right.
Right.
And we can start to realize, like, oh, my body's reacting to something. So I better check in. Right. And then you can start to notice, like, oh man, I have kind of had like light headaches, or,
Yeah.
maybe I'm kind of getting like sniffles or my throat's kind of hurting. Right. And then you can start to supplement hard and avoid an illness, right?
Yes.
Because your
Yes.
body was giving you the warning sign ahead of time. And that's what research has showed is that up to 2 days prior to the symptoms
Hmm.
coming on, you will know about um, illness, and or right, you can also predict an overuse injury, right? So like one of your clients comes in and they're doing workouts with you and their HRV is trending down, yet they're still pushing themselves. We
Yeah.
know that that person is significantly more likely to get injured during a workout than is the person whose HRV has been stable or
Yeah.
trending up. Right? So it's really cool what you can do with this metric.
So, what are some of the things that people can do to improve their HRV?
Yeah. So what you can do to improve your HRV, and I should mention that I wrote a book on this.
You wrote a book on it?
Yes, yeah,
I didn't
I
know
should
that.
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, so
I gotta get it.
yes, it is on Audible or on Amazon. It's called The Secret to Never Getting Sick.
Right.
Um, and
Get it today.
yeah, it's all about this stuff, all about health overall, and then how you can actually raise your HRV is a big part of that. Um, and yeah, the secret to never getting sick. It's actually you'll like this. The secret to never getting sick, why you got sick and why it's your fault.
Yeah, it is.
Because it talks about how if you tune into your body and you listen to what your body's trying to tell you, you can actually avoid getting sick most of the time,
Yeah.
right? Along with many other things. But I can tell you about raising your HRV. But go ahead, Phil. You had a
Yeah,
question.
no, yeah, you tell because a few days ago, I wasn't feeling great. And usually I feel pretty good most of the time. I'm like, what's happening? So I just made sure I drank a lot of water, took my ginger, lemon juice,
Yes.
jacked up on my vitamins, and the next day I was fine. I
Yeah.
had a good
Yeah.
sleep, and I noticed my HRV was down. It was down to like 29. Okay. Um, and you know what I've been using? I don't know if you believe in these or not, but I'll tell you, again, I track my biometrics. I use a grounding sheet. I sleep with one of those.
Yes. It,
I mean, I notice a difference. I notice
it,
a difference.
and your heart rate variability would notice difference too.
Yes, yeah,
Uh,
I can tell.
yeah,
Yeah,
it absolutely. And what's crazier, sleep in a tent on the ground outside
yeah,
and your HRV will jack through the roof. Because that's what the grounding sheets are trying to
yes,
mimic
yes,
is sleeping on the earth.
yeah,
So yeah, absolutely. There's the grounding sheets absolutely do it. They will raise your HRV. Um, Yeah, no, but that is really cool though that you tuned into your body and you listened to what your body was trying to tell you.
yeah.
And as a result of listening to what your body was trying to tell you, you avoided illness potentially. Now, what
Potentially. I mean,
we
I don't know. Maybe,
right,
maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, but
that's exactly the problem. We wouldn't know what would happen if you
right.
didn't,
Yeah.
right? But you know what? I'm sure you're in the same boat as me. I'd rather not find out.
Exactly. I'd rather, let me take a couple minutes, do what I need to do. And now, let me ask you, I have actually a ritual that I do before I go to bed. Does that help with your breathing and sleep? And two of the things I do is I use gosh, I wish these guys would have hooked me up with a sponsorship, but I use a Oblas, right? And I breathe, I had my nose fixed twice, got broken 4 times, so so I breathe into that, and then I take X Clear, 2 shots in each side, each nostril,
Yeah.
and that's part of my routine before I go to bed, and that seems to help me with my breathing.
So without a doubt, opening things up,
Right.
so opening up your nasal passages in some way is huge for making breathing easier and better. So that is one way to do it is to use something like a nasal rinse. I would be I would like to see how you would respond to just doing have you ever heard of a neti pot?
Oh, I use them all the time. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
Especially in the winter, I use that.
yeah.
Yeah, and then if I ever feel a cold coming on or anything, I neti pot. Yeah, I can tell you a funny neti pot story. So,
Yeah.
first time I ever used one, I was actually I was going to train with Frank Shamrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, people know who he is. This was it's got to be like I don't know 2005, let's say. Seems like 2005. So I'm going out to train with him and everything, and um and I fly to California and I get like sick on the plane. I get sinus issues, like bad. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, all right, I'll get a neti pot. I never did one, so I'm in a hotel room. I'm pouring this stuff in my sinus, right? And I thought I was gonna drown
Yeah.
because I forgot to open my mouth. I'm like, open your mouth, dummy. I open my mouth. But I'm like, I'm gonna die in this hotel room. Wait a minute, I'm gonna drown.
Going to drown
You know that,
yourself
that
with the
split
neti
second
pot.
where that split second. I mean, I'm sure it happened very quickly where it came to the realization
Right.
I actually opened my mouth. But for that time, your mind like just flashes forward to all these things. So yeah, but I'll tell you, I've that thing cleared up my sinuses. And I do a couple of things. I drink. uh, I call it my elixir, where I use apple cider vinegar, lemon, and organic local honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mix that together. I make a little tea with it. Yeah.
And you drink that at night as well?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are great things. Anything that can open up your nasal passageway is going to be a huge benefit at night and actually first thing in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and then something like that that is so tea itself is naturally calming for us, right?
Yeah.
Just really just hot water.
Yeah.
And so that's going to help your body, a calm is one big thing. And then yeah, the honey, especially the local organic honey, that's you got all the right things there. And you said lemon in there too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like those, I mean, yeah, man, you're doing yourself some great things right there,
Mhm.
with that kind of a routine. And that kind of a routine is great, right? Now, if you said, you listen to Metallica and eat large amounts of steak right before bed, it
No,
might
not
not
right
be the
before
best
bed, but during
bedtime routine.
during my workout. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm jamming the heavy metal and I'm whacking a steak or
Oh yeah.
I probably eat red meat once or twice a week. I mostly eat chicken first, fish second, and then red meat. Yes.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. uh, red meat is great. And yeah, and we want to be eating it. You just don't want a lot before bed
No.
because it's hard for your body to digest. It's more, I shouldn't say hard. It's more difficult for your
Yes.
body to digest. So it takes a little more time.
Yeah. And you ever go to Rodizio and then you come home and you have the meat sweats because you
Oh,
didn't put the green, you didn't put the red up, you kept the green up.
yes. Yes, I've definitely been there. And yes, I've definitely hit the meat sweats, which is no fun at all. That's a mistake you only make a handful of times
I know. Oh.
because I'd love to say you only make it once, but the food is so delicious that you end up making it more than once.
Yeah, especially if you hang out especially if you hang out with Brazilians and you're going out with them, they always want to go to Rodizio and you don't want to look bad in front of them, so you pile up your plate. It's called ego eating, I guess.
Yes.
Well, I guess we can do that once in a while. You just can't do it every day.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So now, tell you changed locations, right? So
Yes, I have
yeah,
recently moved. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, we were in the Chicago area,
yes.
and we just recently moved out to Arkansas, and we are currently living in the middle of nowhere in a forest in the mountains. So we're pretty darn happy about it.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have a clinic that you go to, or do you just do it out of your home office? Or how do you see people face to face?
So Phil, you're talking to me at a really interesting time. I literally just moved into my new house, you know, not even a week ago. So so right now I'm doing all online therapy, and I'm going to establish a clinic that I will be at a couple times a week to do in
Yeah.
person.
Mhm.
But that's going to be the minority of it. But for those who are familiar with Northwest Arkansas area, I'll be somewhere probably like Fayetteville, Bentonville area,
All right.
which is a lot more populated than where I am at.
Yeah.
But a short drive
Yeah.
from where I'm at nonetheless. So that's where I will be opening eventually. But my online clinic is continuing to grow, and that's where I'll be doing most of my therapy.
So how can people get in touch with you for your online clinic?
Yeah, so you can simply text or call. I have
Okay,
no
that's
problem
me.
with that. So that's simple and we can leave that, but as well, currently I still have a Chicago number.
Okay.
But yeah, but 312 nine
Yep.
six one 7734. But the other great way to get a hold of me would be
Mhm.
to check out my website,
Mhm.
LinkedIn, any of that kind of stuff.
What's the
So for
website?
email, you could do drdavehopper@gmail.com. That one works. My website is drdavidhopper.com.
Okay.
And then on LinkedIn, I am um, I am. Oh, is it? I believe I am David E. Hopper on
Okay.
LinkedIn.
Yes,
I,
what we'll do is, if people aren't writing them down, don't worry about it. It's going to be in description. So it'll be in description of the podcast, so they can have the direct links there.
awesome.
This is great stuff. I mean, oof, yeah, breathing is life, man. And if you can't breathe, you can't live. So,
Oh, 1,000%, man. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is it. But Phil, I know that I know that we are, running towards the end, but I also wanted to ask, I know that you said that you had something
oh,
big going on as well.
thanks for reminding me. I have had a few shots to the head, so occasionally you forget things. But actually, I'm doing a big fundraiser.
Okay.
All the funds are going to t2t.org. Tunnels to tap. Today's companies don't need another motivational talk that sounds good in the room and disappears by Monday. They need immediately executable takeaways, practical, life-improving skills employees can use right away to reduce stress, move better, and perform better at work and at home. That's where I come in. My name is Phil. As a respected wellness, fitness, and injury prevention expert, my offering brings a powerful corporate wellness approach built around three core solutions: body belt method, the Get Off Your Back program, Back Better Bar, and Survival. These are proven methods. Together, they help support better workplace well-being, improve work-life balance, and increase productivity by giving teams tools that can actually apply. This is not just information. It's wellness to the community. I don't know how many people know that, but I'm a 9/11 survivor. My last corporate job was in Tower 2 on the 25th floor. I worked for a company called Sun Microsystems. They're no longer in business. They were absorbed. Um, but yeah, so what I'm going to do is to mark the 25th anniversary, starting on August 11th through November 11th, through September 11th. And I left a couple rest days in there. I'm going to hit 1,000 push-ups a day.
No
Uh,
way.
I'm going to do live feeds, 250 at a clip. I'm going to do a live feed on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok throughout the day. And then people can make donations. And if you have a company or something and you want me to wear your t-shirt, you donate $500, send me a t-shirt. I'll wear it all day and I'll talk about the company. And yeah, I just want to get the money to Tunnels Tower. I've been working with them and they're going to give me a QR code and everything. So I haven't put it on the internet yet. As soon as I get the flyer, that's going out. I mean, I should have it next week. And all the funds are going directly to T2T. They're going to give me a special QR code and a URL. And I'm excited. I'm have people do push-ups with me. I got clinics I'm going to. I'm going to I have some speaking engagements and events I'll be at, and I'll be uh, you know on the floor with people doing the push-ups. I'll be doing them in airports and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, Phil, I mean, this is an amazing mission, and so cool. And I know you did share your story with me as well, which is pretty amazing. But I I'm sorry, I thought that you said 1,000 push-ups a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing it already. I took off
You've been
yesterday.
training.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I do like I can do 250. The fastest I can do is about 8 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I go 50, 50, 50, and then four sets of 25. If I take a little more time, I can do 4 to 5 sets of 50s. Yeah, if I take 12 minutes, I can do 5 sets of 50. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, yeah, I've been doing as soon as we're done, I'm going to bang out 250 push-ups right now.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable. I know I've done 100 in one go, and I think I was sore for like 3 days after
Yeah.
that.
I'll tell you,
That's no joke, man.
my chest is getting pumped. I've been doing this for about a month and
Yeah,
my chest is getting bigger. This is awesome. I love it. I mean, I've always done a lot of push-ups, but I haven't done them this often. Usually I do 200 a day, which is
yeah.
whatever. But this is like, I mean, I'm cranking them out, and I feel awesome. It's great. Even like the other day, my kettlebell workout with my nephew, the one who's the football player.
Yeah.
I was doing 50 between each set, and he was doing 25. He's like 250. Um, so we are doing kettlebell swings, heavy swings, and then our sets of push-ups, and we did 10 of those.
Man, that's a yeah, that's a heck of a workout.
That's all right. You get
Yeah,
everything, man.
yeah, check your HRV would be zero after that.
Yeah, exactly. It should be like
Uh,
negative.
yeah. Oh wow, that's going to be amazing to see. Another thing too. I don't know if you thought about this, but what's the Guinness Book of World Records for most push-ups in a day and most push-ups in a month?
I don't know, but I know there's one guy, Do Hard Things 365, Richie Hernandez. The guy's awesome.
Yeah,
He'll bang out several thousand in a day.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. I met him at the Fit Expo last year, and then we connected and hit it off. And the guy's amazing. I follow him. He's going around the country doing push-ups now. Yeah,
Yeah.
doing like challenges. Yeah, I mean, I think he has the record. He did like 10,000 in a day or something like insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Whew.
he's also like
Wow.
half my age, or less than half my age. I'm going to be 64 in October, so that's why I
Yeah.
need a little rest here and there. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, just 1,000 push-ups every day. That's
yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're an old guy now. So yeah,
Yeah,
if
so
you're
I'm
gonna do a
old, so I can
thousand,
do a
yeah,
thousand. If I was younger, I'd do much more. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's crazy, but an amazing mission though. So yeah, please
Yeah, I'll get it
please
out.
include me on the links for all that too. I'd love
Absolutely,
to help
absolutely,
support.
man. Yeah, absolutely. And we can you can come on like on the live. When I'm gonna do a live. People want to join me. I'll press the button, and then we'll do push-ups together. I'm gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna make this fun and give money to a great cause, and that's my goal.
Okay, well, hey, that is so cool. Well, awesome, man, and best of luck with that. That's
Thanks.
going to be really great. I'm very intrigued to see some of these videos
Yeah,
come out, and
awesome.
maybe yeah, I could bust out 50 for sure with you.
Yeah, yeah, heck
The
yeah,
next
man.
set of 50, the next set of
Yeah,
50, I don't know.
yeah. It'll be fun. Give me something to train for.
There you go. Yes.
Dave, we're definitely have to do this again. You gotta come on again because this is great, and I know you always have great stuff to say. So for again, your links, um, drdavidhopper.com.
Yep.
That'll be up there. There's no dots. It's just one word.
Yep. DrDavidHopper.com. Yep.
I'll have the links posted in. Hey, great to have you on, and look forward to you helping more and more people because what you're doing is great and it saves lives and enhances people's lives. So,
Hey, well, thank you so much for the invitation, Phil. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, and I feel like we have so much more to talk about.
oh,
So yeah,
absolutely, we will.
yeah,
No doubt. Strength and honor.
yes, sir.